Hey, so we are in. Alison, can you hear us?
You're on mute, Alison.
We just said that if you turn your camera off, maybe it will be easier. You might get a. We might hear you better.
Maybe a bit. You'll have to unmute, otherwise we won't hear you any better.
Yeah, on mute if you talk.
Yeah.
There we go. So we are in paper 14.3.1, and the title is Three: The Havona Worlds.
All right. I'll read. And we won't be corrected today, Cole, because it's just you and me. I'll correct you. I'll correct you and you can correct me.
Yeah, yeah, great. Oh, Alison's is in the background. You can hear her now.
Oh yeah, she can still do the correction there.
Hmm.
All right. Three, the Havona Worlds.
Yes.
Concerning the government of the central universe, there is none. Havona is so exquisitely perfect that no intellectual system of government is required.
Holy mackerel. Can you feel that?
Yeah, that'll be all right. There are no regularly constituted courts, neither are there legislative assemblies. Havana requires only administrative direction. Here may be observed the height of the ideas of true self-government.
Ideals.
Here may be observed the height of the ideals of true self-government. I was just testing, Alison. I didn't really say that.
Yeah, I know. I know. I was just testing to see if you could hear me.
Yeah. There is no need of government among such perfect and near perfect intelligences. They stand in no need of regulation, for they are beings of native perfection interspersed with evolutionary creatures who have long since passed the scrutiny of the supreme tribunals of the superuniverses.
Just to come back to that amazing sentence right there at the beginning. Havona is so exquisitely perfect that no intellectual system of government is required. I mean, I can't move from that sentence yet. I found that absolutely incredible.
Mm.
Can you sense something like that? Like, in a way, all of this is suggesting what is available. And we don't
Yeah,
have to wait too long because it's available now, you know, just to begin to um, intuit. What would it be like? Because we know what the intellect does, right? And when we get into the real present and when the heart opens, the intellect is just somewhere in the background, just a little echo that can put some ornamentals to what's happening. But, you know, anyway, I just find it so beautiful. I had to come back to it.
yeah, that's hard to believe.
Well, hard to believe, but also, you know, open to that idea. What
Yeah,
would it be like if we already had that somewhere in there, where our intellect goes into background, and the heart and the light of the world that you are comes forth anyway. Yeah.
the administration of Havana is not automatic, but it is marvelously perfect and divinely efficient. It is chiefly planetary and is vested in the resident eternal of days, each Havana sphere being directed by one of these Trinity origin personalities. Eternals of days are not creators, but they are perfect administrators.
Mm.
They teach with supreme skill and direct their planetary children with a perfection of wisdom bordering on absoluteness. Yeah.
Who are we getting? We're
Say
getting
what?
voices.
What are you saying, Con?
I just keep hearing some interference. Did you hear it?
No, no.
Go on.
The billion spheres of the central universe constitute the training worlds of high personalities native to Paradise and Havona, and further serve as the final proving grounds for ascending creatures from the evolutionary worlds of time. In the execution of the Universal Father's great plan of creature ascension, the pilgrims of time are landed on the receiving worlds of the outer or seventh circuit, and subsequent to the increased training and enlarged experience, they are progressively advanced inward, planet by planet and circle by circle, until they finally attain the deities and achieve residence on Paradise. At present, although the spheres of the seven circuits are maintained in all their supernal glory, only about 1% of all planetary capacity is utilised in the work of furthering the Father's universal plan of mortal ascension. About 1/10 of 1% of the area of these enormous worlds is dedicated to the life and activities of the corpse, cause, and the finality, being eternally settled in light and life, who often sojourn and minister on the Havona Worlds. These exalted beings have their personal residences on Paradise. The planetary construction of the Havona spheres is entirely unlike that of the evolutionary worlds and systems of space. Nowhere else in all the grand universe is it convenient to utilize such enormous spheres as inhabited worlds. Triata physical constitution, coupled with the balancing effect of the immense dark gravity bodies, makes it possible so perfectly to equalize the physical forces and so exquisitely to balance the various attractions of this tremendous creation. Anti-gravity is also employed in the organization of the material functions and the spiritual activities of these enormous worlds. The architecture, lighting, and heating, as well as the biologic and artistic embellishment of the Havona spheres, are quite beyond the greatest possible stretch of human imagination. You cannot be told much about Havona. To understand its beauty and grandeur, you must see it. But there are real rivers and lakes on these perfect worlds. Spiritually, these worlds are ideally appointed. they are fittingly adapted to their purpose of harbouring the numerous orders of differing beings who function in the central universe. Manifold activities take place on these beautiful worlds, which are far beyond human comprehension.
Have you guys seen that movie called Valerian?
Yes.
I really like that beginning, the opening scene where they actually showed this world where it was just much less dense kind of environment, very pristine and almost see-through like. It was so beautifully portrayed. When we're reading this, I keep getting that scene all the time in my head.
Did you say it's called Valeria?
Valerian.
Valerian.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I saw it, Cole, and I remember I said last time to you that I don't remember anything about the movie other than the fact that the visual was really, really good.
Very good. I mean, the movie itself, again, like Luc Besson, who is the director, he he has an amazing ability to bring into a movie the spiritual kind of sensory, really deep sensory. Like many of you might have seen Lucy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like how he portrayed the when she took those drugs, then she began to feel things. She felt her, she could remember her mother's milk, and she could really see things differently, and everything was changing. And he had an amazing way of demonstrating it, as well as showing some absolutely useless car chases and things like that, where you just go like, "Oh my God, let's stop chasing something now, or let's stop escaping something." But on a way of a visual thing, it's such a beautiful way of portraying. And there is another really beautiful metaphor in there, which I might have mentioned before. They come to this place and it's just pure desert. And then he says, "Hey, you need to use these glasses." And they put the glasses on, and where right there where the desert was a busy world full of stuff.
Mhm.
So just like they talked about in a previous chapter somewhere or previous section, they were talking about these different sensations and different stimuli, different receptive centers. It's like if only this receptive center is open and all of these other receptive centers are dysfunctional. Yeah. So, and without these other centers, we can't really see the truth. We can't perceive truth. We can't experience it because this is too limited around here. Anyway, I just thought that was such a beautifully done, particularly that first section. The rest of the movie was like, okay, but that was so exquisite. And
Yeah.
obviously, he says, this way far beyond human comprehension. Mm, yeah. All right. Shall I read the next one?
Yep.
Number 4, creatures of the central universe. There are 7 basic forms of living things and beings on Havona Worlds. And each of these basic forms exists in 3 distinct phases. Each of these 3 phases is divided into 70 major divisions, and each major division is composed on one thousand minor divisions with yet other subdivisions, and so on. These basic life groups might be classified as. Interesting they put the might be in there. Number one, material. Two, morontial. Three, spiritual. Four, absolute. Five, ultimate. Six, co-absolute.
Mm.
And seven, absolute. Here we go. Decay and death, another part of the cycle of life on the Havona Worlds. In a central universe, the lower living things undergo the transmutation of materialization.
Oh, yeah, I can hear Alison in the background. Someone. Just put her on mute.
Yeah. Decay and death are not part of the cycle of life on Havona Worlds. Right, Chisholm puts it also beautifully. So like we slow ourselves down spiritually until we become physical, but we forgot how to come back to the spiritual again. I really like that metaphor. Just slowing ourselves down, we are just too dense. And in that density, we create decay and death because it cannot sustain itself. In the central universe, the lower living things undergo the transmutation of materialization. They do change form and manifestation, but they do not resolve the process of decay and cellular death. Wow. So they do change form and manifestation, but they do not resolve by process of decay and cellular death. The Havana natives are all the offsprings of the Paradise Trinity. Wow, that's beautiful, huh? They are without creature parents, and they are non-reproducing beings. We cannot portray the creation of these citizens of the central universe, beings who never were created. The entire story of the creation of Havona is an attempt to time, space, and eternity fact, which has no relation to time or space as mortal man comprehends them. But we must concede human philosophy, a point of origin. Even personalities far above the human level require a concept of being beginnings. I've got to read it again. But we must consider human philosophy a point of origin. Even personalities far above human level require a concept of beginnings. Nevertheless, the Paradise Havona system is eternal. The natives of Havona live in a billion spheres of the central universe in the same sense that other orders of permanent citizenship dwell on their respective spheres of nativity. As the material order of sonship carries on a material, intellectual, and spiritual economy of a billion local systems in a super universe. So, in a large sense, the Havona natives live and function on a billion worlds of the central universe. You might possibly regard these Havoners, Havoners as material creatures in the same sense that the word material could be expanded to describe the physical realities of the divine universe. You enjoying this, guys?
Yeah, actually, this is better than some of the other stuff because
Yeah,
it's easier to read and understand it.
yeah, beautiful. And just know one thing that with the other stuff we don't understand, it will be all explained a bit later. But they go to prepare you. They just sets the ground, and lots of things that are not clear now will become clear later. Sometimes they become clear in like a deeper knowing rather than something you can perceptually ramble on about. So it's very experiential what this is engaging in us. I still can't believe how much every time I listen to Urantia, it just puts me into a state already. Fuck,
Well, it's going to be bumpy as fuck.
it's bumpy as fuck. Anyway, ah, now there is a life that is native to Havona and possesses significance in and of itself. Havoners minister in many ways to paradise descenders and to super universe ascenders, but they also live lives that are unique in a central universe and have a relative meaning quite apart from either paradise or the super universes. As the worship of the faith sons of the evolutionary world ministers to the satisfaction of the universal Father's love, so the exalted adoration of the Havana creatures satiates the perfect ideals of divine beauty and truth. As mortal man strives to do the will of God, these beings of the central universe live to gratify the ideas of the paradise trinity.
Ideals.
Thank you. You're there, Alison.
I'm here.
That's funny, Cole. You said the same exactly what I did. Ideals, and I said ideas, and you said ideas.
Yep. I'm here in body, if nothing else.
Oh, thank you, darling. Be so dull without you, honey.
Thanks, Cole.
No. I mean, it's a way you just don't get that level of correction.
Yeah, well, I haven't been correcting you.
Oh, you're letting me get lost, are you?
I have been, yeah.
Oh, thank you, darling. That's interesting. I'm like, gosh, I must be doing much better now. Oh my God. In their very nature, they are the will of God. Man rejoices in the goodness of God. Havorners exalt in the divine beauty, while you both enjoy the ministry of the liberty of living truth. I feel saturated already. Havoners, I love that word, Havoners, have both optional present and future unrevealed destinies. And there is a progression of native creatures that is peculiar to the central universe, a progression that involves neither ascent to paradise, no, nor penetration of the super universes. This progression to higher Havona status may be suggested as follows. Number one, experiential progress outwards from the first to the seventh circuit. Two, the progress inward from the seventh of the first circuit
To the first.
to the first circuit. Intra-circuit progress, progression within the worlds of a given circuit. In addition to Havana natives, the inhabitants of the central universe embrace numerous classes of pattern beings for various universe groups, advisors, directors, teachers of their kind, and to their kind through creation. All beings in all universes are fashioned along the lines of some one order of patterned creature living on some one of the billion worlds of Havona. Even the mortals of time have their goal and ideals of creature existence on the outer circuits of these patterned spheres on high. Well, I think as much as I can read.
Want to have a go, Alison? Or can you?
I can have a go. Then there are those beings who have attained the Universal Father and who are entitled to go and come, who are assigned here and there in the universes on missions of special service. And on every Havona world will be found the attainment candidates, those who have physically attained the central universe, but who have not yet achieved that spiritual development, which will enable them to claim paradise residence. The infinite spirit is represented on the Havona worlds by a host of personalities, beings of grace and glory, who administer the details of the intricate intellectual and spiritual affairs of the central universe. On these worlds of divine perfection, they perform the work indigenous to the normal conduct of this vast creation, and in addition, carry on the manifold tasks of teaching, training, and ministering to the enormous numbers of ascendant creatures who have climbed from glory from the dark worlds of space, climbed to glory from. There are numerous groups of beings native to the Paradise Havona system that are in no way directly associated with the ascension scheme of creature perfect attainment, Therefore are they omitted from the personality classifications presented to the mortal races. Only the major groups of superhuman beings and those orders directly connected with your survival experience are herein presented. Havona teems with the life of all phases of intelligent beings who there seek to advance from lower to higher circuits in their efforts to attain higher levels of divinity realization and enlarged appreciation of supreme meanings, ultimate values, and absolute reality. Hmm. Shall I start the next section?
Be so kind.
5. Life in Havona. On Urantia, you pass through a short and intense test during your initial life of material existence. On the mansion worlds and up through your system, constellation, and local universe, you traverse the Morontia phases of ascension. On the training worlds of the super universe, you pass through the true spirit stages of progression and are prepared for eventual transit to Havona. On the seven circuits of Havona, your attainment is intellectual, spiritual, and experiential. And there is a definite task to be achieved on each of the worlds of each of these circuits. Life on the divine worlds of the central universe is so rich and full, so complete and replete, that it wholly transcends the human concept of anything a created being could possibly experience. The social and economic activities of this eternal creation are entirely dissimilar to the occupations of material creatures living on evolutionary worlds like Urantia. Even the technique of Havona thought is unlike the process of thinking on Urantia. The regulations of the central universe are fittingly and inherently natural. The rules of conduct are not arbitrary. In every requirement of Havona, there is disclosed the reason of righteousness and the rule of justice. And these two factors combined equal what on Urantia would be denominated fairness. When you arrive in Havona, you will naturally enjoy doing things the way they should be done. When intelligent beings first attain the central universe, they are received and domiciled on the pilot world of the seventh Havona circuit. Oh, I'm just so irritated by all of this. I'm just like, why the fuck do we need to know all these bloody idiotic pieces of information about something in the future? I'm just
Oh, don't push yourself, darling, if this is not landing.
so, I'm very, very distracted.
Yes, I think that could be maybe the real cause, you know? So, yeah, don't let's just relax into just being. Hmm. Yeah. Are you away from home?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's had a concussion and I came through to just help her recover.
Bless your heart.
Well, her boyfriend's so unengaged with what's going on. Anyway, I'm very irritated about everything at the moment. Not everything, but
Mm,
and it happened very quickly. I just decided yesterday morning to come and arrived yesterday afternoon. So
mm. How long are you staying?
oh, as long as it takes. So I don't know. It might be a week, might be less, might be more.
Mm, no. Yeah, it must be, that would be very hard to read this if you're in distress. Alan,
Well, yeah,
relaxing you. Yeah. Mm,
I just don't see I'm experiencing a lot of like questions too about what A Course of Love says about being already accomplished and then all these steps to accomplishment. It just seems it doesn't fit.
mm. With this,
Yeah.
well, see, I personally, I'm hearing this as not a future thing at all. Like, why would we need all this information just to look forward to something in the future? For me, it's a constant revelation of what is available now. I mean, I know they say it's very hard for us to comprehend because we only usually stuck in this intellect part of ourselves or limited imagination. But for me, this is uprooting old structures and leaving them behind. It's almost like leaving, like dismantling the barriers and tensions that make us unable to be receptive to what's absolutely everywhere in the whole cosmos. So I don't think it's suggesting, and many people do it that way. They just like learn all this. But I think it works very differently on many different levels.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Yeah,
I'm
it's hard when you know when you're actually dealing with the situation you're in. I would.
oh, it's just it comes down to also not having slept very well, not having been able to actually focus on my morning thing, you
Listen,
know.
I got the same. Sometimes I listen to this and I go like, oh, I don't think I can really listen to this right now. And there is
Mm,
a right time for it, and there is a different, you know.
yeah.
Some days I feel so receptive, and some days I feel like just the same. It's like, oh, what the actual, you know.
Most of the structural stuff about the universe and how it's, all the different stages. I'm not that interested in most of it, actually, in reality, a lot of the time. Um, but I'll go with it because there's some gems in between me. But
Yes,
anyway, not really to. It's not to.
I understand.
Yeah,
Yeah, darling. Well, I hope everything sorts out.
it will. It's yeah.
Nice of you to go and take care of her.
Yeah, well, the household is a bit in conflict at the moment as well, so that's not really helping things along this morning anyway.
Hmm. Well, we don't. We can just stop it here. There's no need for us to just keep going. Um, why don't we just park ourselves? I mean, how far is it till the end of the section?
It's I think 2 paragraphs.
Is it?
Is it? Yeah, 2 paragraphs. Oh no, and just to the end of that before there's a break in the section. No, there's quite a lot more.
Yeah, we can just pause here. Can anybody, Kev, do you know where we are? Can you mark it?
Yeah, 14 point, can't read it, 14.5.4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll highlight it in mine.
Point three. Yeah, point four, you're right.
yeah.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that for today. And I've got a few things to do. Kevin's going to a meeting, and yeah,
Oh, Kim's not here.
he's not here.
Anthony's not here.
Yeah, I like when Kim's around.
Yeah, she sort of has a stabilizing influence.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. But hey, beautiful guys. Oh, I
Um,
started my feeling group on Monday, and it went really well.
is it a men's group? Oh no, it's an online one, is it?
No, no, no. It's actually in person, and we actually only have four men and about 10 women.
Oh yeah.
Balance. There's a bit of it. I was hoping we can get more men so I can engage into these practices between men and women, how to increase polarity and how to stay safe,
Right.
feel safe and open, and really tap into these unseen realms that ignite the other.
Mm.
It's a different way of being. But anyway, it's still going very well because it is really called the feeling realm, and it's the schools of feeling being, you know. Lorella's background in feeling is incredible, and I have a very different approach to feeling. So we're both bringing in the gifts of the both, 30 or so years of being deeply dived into the understanding of this feeling realm, which is incredible. Oh, it's incredible.
So you're co-hosting with someone.
Yeah, we doing it with my friend Lorella. I can send you some if you want to listen to some. I can send you some. We did a couple of podcasts together, and they're
Yeah.
very down regulating in a very slow mo, talking about the feeling realms and being very transparent on these podcasts.
Right.
Really being in our honesty and how it is really in that very moment.
Yeah.
So,
I'd be there, Cole. It
ta-da!
would be nice to be physically more, a bit closer.
Yeah. Well, we'll
Well, it's
okay.
so.
We'll all meet again, and if not here, we'll meet in Havona,
Yeah,
or actually first in Morontia Worlds.
in Marancha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's according to this book, absolute definite, unless we make different choices, of course.
I
Lovely.
don't think we're going to skip anything, are we? We just have to go from one to the next.
I don't know. Maybe it's some people are more open to certain things than others, and you know now having had that sort of near death experience thing is that it reveals something that of these worlds that it's very hard to even comprehend
Right.
this level of association,
You're talking about your near life.
my near life experiences, not one,
Oh,
many, where that whole thing just opens up and you see, you know. But it's funny enough because it not only opens up for a moment, but something stays open. something remains forever unchanging, like you virtually can't go back. Although I can saturate myself with the information of this world and make it slightly forgotten. But anytime I go, hang on a second, let me just come back to my true self, there it is. And it's like it reverberates in the more in a heart and a belly than in a head. I mean, you know this, you know these places, Alison. You had pretty incredible experiences in your journey.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I probably have.
Today you can't see them.
Today I'm shitted off.
Yeah,
That's just how I am.
I know. And we're still trying to change it, but just allow yourself to be shitty and befriend your discomfort, because it's all about a change of mind. What if this was perfect? What if the fury is one of the things that is necessary for transformation?
Gotta go, guys. I'll see you next time. Saturday, I guess.
Can we stop the recording, Cole?
Sure. Where is it? Stop recording. Okay.